here I go.
We've been, you know, it was one of the hardest things we've done, especially at the end with the judges, where some of your public votes were literally 50-50, and we had to go deep down into detail. Why should that person win? Looking at, and it's not just your story. We started talking about how are those properties held? Are they held in trusts? PTY is the legal structure there. This isn't just someone's story, it's everything, it's the journey. It's how, you know, what about the sustainability? What happens next year? How safe are you in the next year and the year after? So there's so many variables that we looked at. Please, well done. Sure. Okay, go through this nice and quickly, I like it. Now for the big news. The question is, who is the coolest kid in Boksburg? And who has the coolest property? So when I said that judging was hard, there's 200 people in the audience. That's the reason we took so long to judge. We all judge and we had to go around the room again. So this was actually very, very difficult. So ladies and gents, the winner of the big leagues, please note that they were both very, 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 very equal. There was like one vote to go. The winner of 2019 big is, I need a massive drum roll now. I want to hear some noise, ladies and gents. I want to hear some kick and whistle. All right. It's DJ! Welcome, my man.
Amazing stuff. That was me there last year, around about this time of the year, and I got the Investor of the Year award, and that was, you know, other fellow investors simply recognizing some of the work that we're doing, and I got Investor of the Year award for the big leagues, and that was awesome. My name is Taurai Jack, and if you've never been here before, you can call me TJ, and I am trusting that it is not your first time to be seeing me, and it is not your first time actually to just interact with us, and we've been around for a bit. And out of that, we've been winning awards, we've been buying buildings and things like that from when we started off. But do not just take me for granted. I have written a book called From Bad Debt to Property Mogul in 2 years. And that book is freely available to you. If you jump onto my website there, you can see it at the bottom. And you can be able to enjoy that book. It's freely available. You get it as a hard copy. Right, as we go on, behind every successful man is a successful team. And allow me to introduce you the team that is behind everything else that you do know as M5 Property Addicts. So the team comprises of myself, and I am the captain of the ship at the moment. And I am co-hosting today with Reta, and Reta, she plays CFO. And over and above that, she looks after our student accommodation portfolio. What does M5 Property Addicts do? Two things. We do student accommodation and we do affordable accommodation. We are in 4 cities: Durban, Johannesburg, Pretoria, Cape Town, and Pretoria. And out of that, we could be doing it from a development perspective all the way to, you know, when it's finished, or we buy existing buildings and we turn them around. And that's why you see people like Hubert who are on the team. He focuses on the development side. Daniel, who focuses on the special projects, these buildings that needs to be turned around. And Elise, she looks after the legal component of our business. However, buying property is an event, but managing properties, it's a process. And within that process, if it's not properly defined, you are deemed to lose some money. And that's why we've got our who's our property manager, and that guy is called Bevan, and he literally looks after all of our properties across the country. And behind him sits a very big team with caretakers, property managers, collections team, and all of those. Some of you might know us as Sakisizwe Property Stockville. We do have a Stockville, and Selendile, she looks after the crowdfunding component. And some of you might have seen us on different media, talking about property. We enjoy talking about property all the time because that's our happy place. Round about last year in, I think winter it was, last year in winter, myself, Retta, we had the privilege actually to be meeting Robert Kiyosaki, and we spent 10 days with him. And within those 10 days, we were talking a lot about Plan B. And Robert was sharing much around if the world is to collapse, if anything else is going to happen to the economy. And right now we are seeing interest rates as the lowest. How best can you make sure that your money keeps on working for you? How best can you continue making sure that you have money on the table and the paper money is becoming worth less? And in there, Robert speaks about 5 things that you should be investing in, and he calls them the 5 Gs. And out of that, ground was one of them. Obviously, buying a real ground or buying real estate. If you have to put your money in there, we all know the secret. Assets are always appreciating. The other G that he speaks of is gold. And the other 3 Gs that you can speak about is, I encourage you to go and read the book that's called Fake. And that's the book that he was launching at that time. Quite an eye-opening book in terms of what is happening in today's world. We are already seeing some of the things that he was teaching at that particular time. I want to introduce to you guys something that you already know, but I want to introduce to you guys in a different space or in a different thinking, and especially to an investment perspective. It is not a secret anymore that Corona is here. We are living in the COVID season. Maybe about a year ago, and it's almost 2 years now, when China was hit with COVID, and it has spread through the entire world. For us in South Africa, we've been hit with this. We have gone past the 6 months. We are fairly going into 1 full solid year. But I want to speak to this in terms or in relation to around about 3 things. It is not a secret what is happening in our economy. Those that still have jobs, they're in a good position. But we're seeing many industries that are shutting down. We might be looking at the entertainment industry that's still kind of like shut down. We might be looking at hoteling, catering. Those guys, they suffer the most because in most cases where they had jobs, waiters and things like that, South African Airlines, all of those guys literally came to a halt, right? And guess what happened to those jobs? Jobs were lost. That was the reality. It is still a reality today. However, I want to position the fact that it is an unfair advantage to those that are clever, to those that are seeing the opportunities, because this is not the first time round when something like this has happened, right? We might want to go back into history, around about 2000, right? In year 2000, the economy went down. In year 2008, again, the economy went down. But what happened in those years? Definitely people that were clever, they saw the opportunities, they bought properties at a low at that particular time than they normally are, and they've been able actually to make money out of it. Maybe you could be one of those people that made money in 2000. I wasn't certainly thinking about it. I was still an employee at the bank. I was very happy at the bank at that time. In 2008, I was aware of what is happening, but I lost also the opportunity. I never made money out of it. But I want to come back to, in perspective of jobs that are being lost right now. The reality is that for people that have been renting out, the landlords are having immense pressure as we go along. The reality is that, yes, some banks have given out what we call payment holidays. Some banks have extended it, I think, all the way to around about next year or by the end of November. Our bank that we bank with, they only extended it until around about a month and a half ago. So what is happening to all those landlords? The reality is many landlords are being pressured right now. And many landlords are throwing in the towel. And many landlords are saying, well, I don't want to be in this business anymore, because guess what? They are just being pressured with what is happening in the economy. It did happen in 2000. It did happen in 2008. This time round, it's not just an economy that's down. It's also down with a virus on top of it. So what's going to happen? Are we going to go up like what we did in the 2000 and 2008? Not necessarily so. It's going to be a slow uprising when the economy comes through. But this is the window, the unfair advantage window that you and I can capitalize. We know how to find opportunities. We want your money to be able to partner up with us, and that way we can create the magic and we can be going out and buying all these properties. It's not that we are only eyeing out for this window. It's been happening, but it's happening at a rapid pace where we can actually go in and bank on this window. It's going to close at some point because the economy is going to turn. So the window is limited. If we don't go in now, we're going to lose. But it doesn't mean that if you don't come in, we're not going to go ahead. We have started already. We started already with buying some other properties already. So this is just a teaser and awareness to you that this is happening, whether you want to be part of it, or whether you don't want to be part of it, or whether you're seeing it or you're not seeing it. The reality is it is happening. So my team and I from M5 Property Addicts, we have just literally made it our duty to create property ownership so that you can be investing into it. And the reason why we're doing this is that we understand that property, it's not easy for everyone to be going out there to look for good opportunities. For some of you, you're stuck on a job and the job is holding you back. You don't have the time. For some of you, you just don't know where to find them. So it is our duty to create these opportunities so that you can invest alongside us. So we have created something that is called the M5. M5 Property Addicts is for people that are wanting to invest alongside others. And there's two ways you can invest. I am going to talk to it a little bit later. But it is for people that understand that alongside others, with your contribution, you can invest in properties. The second person here is that it is for people that want to grow a large property portfolio. Rita and I, when we started off the business, it was just the two of us back in the days. However, we now have more than 200 tenants. We now have more than 350 students that is now being managed with the entire team that you've now seen. The team has grown more hands and a larger property portfolio is now available. With you on board, we can even do much better. This is also for people who want to earn what we call infinity returns. And a little bit later, I am going to introduce to you what is infinity returns if you have never heard about it. But I want to stress the fact that this is not about buying stocks. So it's not like the price is going to go up and down and things like that. No, it will be, you will be owning the properties alongside us. So in a nutshell, I want to show you guys that this is a very good friend of mine now who's become a friend of mine, but literally started off just by investing with us. And we have been journeying together in the last year and a half. And we were at the property that we recently bought, and this is what he had to say.
So you've been investing with us. Yeah. What made you take the leap of faith to invest? So teacher, I think for me it was the fact that I've been following you for some time. You came through the same education system of investment, and I've seen what you've done. And I think for me it was sort of an easy decision, you know, to invest with you and to build a partnership with you and to create a legacy for ourselves and our family and creating a foundation for people. Cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome stuff. You had it for yourself. But now let me just explain to you what is infinity returns, because for some of us, this could be a totally new name to us. And you can go in and jump into the either on a Google or, you know, you can search on your own. Don't take my word for it on what infinity returns. But infinity returns just basically means that you can put in money onto something, right? And when you get that money out, right, whatever you have invested in at that particular time, right, you keep on getting money or profits from that product or whatever that you've bought, but your capital is back, you know, and that's what infinity returns is all about. So you can't really measure infinity returns because you don't have money in that thing. And I want to show you guys a few deals that we have done over the years. And I would like you guys to be interactive with me at this junction. And I'm going to ask of you that, remember, in the chat, you can still be able to ask comments or to comment as I go along, because I'm going to ask you questions. This is a 2-bed, 1-bath. We bought this property before we now know what we know today. But I want to demonstrate to you what infinity returns would mean. We bought this property for 160,000 Rand. It was on the market for 390, and this was not even in COVID. So the reality of having more deals like these ones during this COVID is very high. But this was out of COVID, and I'm just trying to demonstrate that the skill of getting good deals, we have it. Now, over and above that, we were then able to actually have closing cost of 50,000. It meant that our total spend on this property was around about 210,000. We had a rental income of 5,000 on the same property, and then we later sold it for 450. If you do the maths there, you'll see that we made profit by selling the property. But that's not what I want to demonstrate today. What I want to demonstrate today is that, imagine had we now know what we are knowing today, which is called, if we buy a property cash, yeah, we buy a property cash, this time round, instead of selling it, we go and finance the same property. So in this case, I'm going to say that we want to finance the same property, but we are financing it at 210,000, but we're going to take an assumption that the interest rate is sitting at 10%. I know that it is a little bit lower now, but the interest rate is sitting at 10%, which means that our bond repayment is 2,100. Now, in the event that we have gone that scenario, my question to you is, if we've got a 5,000 Rand rental income, yeah, so 5,000 Rand rental income, this is where my question is coming now, and we've got a 2,100 Rand bond repayment, right? And we have another expense of 1,000. So which means that our total expense of this property here is 3,100. If we subtract that from 5,000, are we making profit? That's my question there. I want to throw it into the comments there. Let me know what you think. Are we making profit? It's a yes or no answer. I'm waiting to hear from you. Yes, we're making profit. Someone said. I'm waiting to hear from others. Are we making any profit? Someone said yes, and waiting on the others. Maybe the others are calculating. 5,000 minus 3,100. Are we making profit? That's the question, right? I'm gonna pause here so that I can get the others to find their calculators. Someone else does say yes. I should be getting like maybe about 10 or so yeses in here. If that's what you are thinking. If it's a no, then you tell us that it's a no. So yes, we are making profit. Simply put, 5,000 minus 3,100, you've got an odd 1,900. That's your profit. So you're making profit, right? But remember, you finance this property now and your cash is out of the deal. And as it is now out of the deal, do you still have any cash in the deal? That's my next question to you. Do you still have any cash in the deal, right? You finance this property, so you got your 210,000 Rand back. So the question that I'm asking now is, do you still have any money in the deal? It's a yes or no. All right. Someone said no. Well done. Right? I'm waiting for the other. Someone says no as well. No. Awesome stuff. This 1,900 that we are talking about, that is what we call infinity returns. You have no money in the deal. You're still owning the asset, and the asset keeps on giving you money, right? Infinity returns in this particular circumstance is that in year number 1, you're getting your 1,900, and potentially in year 2, 3, 4, 5, as you increase your rent, your infinity returns could actually be growing whilst your tenant is actually paying off your debt. That's the secret. So we buy properties cash, and from buying cash, we go out and we then put in a tenant, and we go to the bank, and the bank comes in, gives us a loan. We take our initial money out, which means that we have no risk in a property, and all we have is the debt that we now need to pay for. But the tenant is paying for our debt. All right. I think I want to pause here and ask the question that, is this making sense to you? Because if it's not making sense to you, the moment we are going to go to the next deal, it might just be a little bit more complicated because of the bigger numbers. But I just want to make sure that this is making sense. Now, had I borrowed money from you, right, 200,000 from you, at this junction, by going to the bank, I can be able to finance that, and I can give you back your 100,000 or your 200,000. Can I give you back your 200,000 with a little bit of interest? Yes, I can, because my property can carry that. That makes sense? Awesome stuff. Now, I'm going to go into deal number 2. Right. Deal number 2. This is a property for some of you who understand or who knows Johannesburg. It is in an area called Boksburg. And in Boksburg, we bought this property here. It was an abandoned warehouse, kind of like right in the heart of the CBD. And we bought this property for 700,000. We closed it for 700,000. It was on the market for around about 1.8. We negotiated hard on it. By the time we bought it, that building was kind of like a shell, and that's why we bought it. Sometimes it's about a distressed seller. Sometimes it's about a distressed property. Sometimes it's about a distressed seller and property at the same time. In this case, the seller was distressed, the property was distressed, and that's why we managed to get it at a good price like that, 700,000. Out of it, we was able to put in a renovation of 400,000. That was a heavy renovation there. But we were now able to have a total spend of 1.1 million. The rental income that we are getting on that property is sitting on just below 40,000 rand, okay? And we went to the bank and we financed the property. This time round, we financed it for 1,500,000, okay? So the bank actually gave us a little bit more than what we had put in. Now, the question that I want to ask you of you here is, on this property here, do we still have any cash of our own in the property? Remember, we spent 1.1 million, but the bank actually gave us 1.5 on the same property. So do we still have any cash in the deal, right? Do we still have cash in the deal? And I'm getting a no, no, no. Someone says it's a nice deal. Yes, a high five. Thank you very much for your kind words. Right, awesome stuff. If you're looking at this particular deal and you're saying now, okay, fine, I've got a rental of 40,000, I've got rates and taxes sitting in on 7,000, and then again, I have 1.5 million. And if I take 1.5 million on a 10% interest rate, that's kind of like 15,000, isn't it? In today's terminology. Let's just say if it's 15,000, subtract, add that with 7,000, and then you subtract it from the 40,000. Are you still making profit? Are you still making profit? On a month to month, that's the question I'm asking. Are you still making profit? Yes, no, right? Yes, no. Someone says to me, please explain how the bank gave you that amount. Right, pretty simple. it depends on a property, the value of the property together with the income of the property. The bank needs to see the value on the property. So if the property has the value, the bank will give you the value. If it's a commercial property, the bank will consider the value which is of the asset together with the income on that property. They'll send out what is called an evaluator, and that evaluator will stipulate how much the property is. In this case, this particular asset that we are looking at, it was actually valued at 3 million rand. So it means that on the other side, we actually have equity sitting on the deal, and that might be a new name for some of you, but the more you have equity, the more you are rich. The more equity you have, the more you are rich in asset. Okay, awesome stuff. I am going to move away from this property here, and I'm going to go into another property, and I'm hoping that this is making sense. Just to explain on the 400,000, yes, that 400,000 becomes money that we can utilize on another deal somewhere else, or we can literally do whatever you want to do. Remember, on your loan, your tenants are going to be paying this off for you. You can look at it as some profit if you want to, that the bank has given you for the work that you have done. Okay, this is another project that we've been busy with, and we've been in this property actually for a solid 1 year. And when we bought this property, we actually went in with the bank. But I want to give you an example to say that imagine if we had bought this property cash, right, on 1.250, that's what we bought it for on a loan with the bank, and so it's two houses next to each other, and the other one we bought it for 1.5, which basically means that we spent around about 2.75 on this property, or these two properties. However, the area sells for around about 2 million, okay? Anything over 2 million, that's what the area sells for. So from an evaluation perspective, had we bought these properties cash, we could have immediately financed the same properties through the bank, and the bank would have given us 2 million, right? In this scenario, we bought the properties with the bank, and we went on to renovate an additional 750,000. And out of that, we have students in both places. We've got girls on the one side, we've got boys on the other side. And on a monthly basis, we are banking in a net of a gross income of 127,000 Rand. As you may know, student accommodation, the students don't pay you on a monthly basis, or should we say the NSFAS don't pay you on a monthly basis. You get paid quarterly. Yes, that's the gross amount of money that we get, but that gets paid in quarterly or whenever the NSFAS sees and the private bursaries that we've got will fund us. It makes sense, right? This is another example of a good deal, and it's a deal that we can easily be going into together had you been around with us at that particular time. The point that I'm stressing out here is that there's plenty of these deals around. However, there's very little money available. And those that have cash, they are closing these deals left, right, center. And I want to stress out that on these type of deals that I've just been explaining, all of these deals, right? All of these deals. There is two ways in which that you can invest with us. The first one is that it's a no strings attached. You can invest with us on a year-on-year period. So it basically means that for a minimum of 100,000, if you've got 100,000 today, and we did say that this information session is geared up for people that have a minimum of 100,000. So I am trusting that you've got your 100,000 with you. So for your minimum 100,000, okay, on a no strings, this literally becomes you can invest today, or you can invest, we can do paperwork tomorrow, and that contract is a year's contract. What happens after that? You're going to earn 14% on your profit, right? you're going to earn 14% on your money. So for every 100,000 that you're going to be giving us to go to work with, you're earning 14,000 Rand per year, okay? Some of you might be thinking, TJ, you know, some of the deals you're doing, you know, they're very good. And I want to ask of you to say, well, if you're thinking that they are good, and wherever your money is right now, for some of you, that money is actually sitting at the bank right now. I want to ask you the question that, is your money not dying at the bank? Yeah, I did say that. Is it not dying? What do I mean by is it not dying? If your money is in the bank right now, you're potentially getting around about a 6-7%, right? That's what you're getting. If you haven't checked, well, go and check, right? But what is the inflation rate sitting on? If you're not beating the inflation rate, it means that you're not saving. Your money is not even safe there. It's dying. That's what it basically means. But anyways, maybe you want to get your money dead and you don't want to be investing with other people, so you leave your money there. That's all right too. That's okay. But I want to stress the fact that on this no strings attached, 14% flat, that's what we give you for the year. That's 14,000 Rand. We distribute that on a monthly basis at 1,166. On the 10th of each month, you get an SMS, ding, that's coming through from us, from your bank, telling you that we have deposited that money. If you're investing 200,000, it's just times 2. If you're investing 500,000, that's times 5. Makes sense, right? The rate is still 14%. At the end of the year, so around about next year, this time, me and you will have the conversation again on what do you want to do with your money? Do you want to reinvest? Do you want to take it out? But you make the choice to pull back your capital if you want to. And our relationship kind of like ends there. And if that is you and you're thinking that this is something that you want to do, Rita right now, she's going to drop in a link. On that link, all you need to do is to type in your details, who you are, how much money you've got, and we will definitely give you a call within business hours between tomorrow and Monday. And no strings attached. You're not in a long-term relationship with us. All you're doing is you're putting in your money for a 1 year and you are banking your 14% and you're smiling all the way to the bank. And that money is distributed to you on a monthly basis. But there could be some of you who are wanting to, who see the long-term view on this, and they are wanting to partnering up with us. Partnering up means that on these deals that we've been talking about, on those deals that we're talking about for student accommodation, you can be a partner in it. So this time round, instead of just giving in your money and you get your money out, you can partner up with us. Partnering up just basically means that your minimum of 100,000 is invested in a trust. And from there on, that money is going to go to the attorneys and they keep that money in a trust. And as and when these projects come up, we then go to work with the same amount of money and you are partners. Now, each time we are financing properties, you have invested once, and out of it, you are now reaping the benefits of investing with us whilst we are continuously buying properties. So each time we invest cash, we go out, we buy a property. Thereafter, we finance. When we finance, we go on to the next property, and you own both properties. And we do that 3 times. You own property number 3 with us. We own property number 4. You own it with us. So you are a true partner with us. The others are investing in us. You are investing alongside us, which is simply put in here, this process here that I've got here. Now, the targeted returns on that process is nothing less of 14%. So we've got a targeted return of a year-on-year of 14%, which is then calculated utilizing the rental income obviously coming from that property and obviously the capital gains. What is capital gains? The appreciation of the property or the what do you call that now? The equity that is on the property itself. And if we put together, then we get the returns that we are getting year on year. However, I am pleased to say that on our first deal that we went in, right, we actually got 17%. Yeah, 17%. And where we took that video with Herschel, we were actually at what we call a show and tell, where our investors come in, those that are investing alongside us, which means that they are partnering with me. And out of that, you know, we actually got that first deal at 17%. And I'm going to show you what it is. And this is it. This is the building that we got. It is a mixed use building, and it is out in a place called Florida. And there's round about an odd 2930 units on this particular place. And out of it, for some of you who might be interested to actually view this property we've got, we recorded the entire show and tell. And Rita, maybe you can just drop that show and tell link in the comments there. And guys, if you're watching this on a laptop, you can copy that link and, you know, put it onto another page, and later on you can see the show and tell. It's around about 15-20 minutes. We show you what the building is. And we bought this property with my partners for 11.5 million. 11.5, that's what we bought it for. And we actually, the value of this property here is sitting on 16 million. And the returns are sitting on 17. You know, no questions asked. This is it. This is what we're getting. It's a clean building. You can have a look on yourself. And if this is what you want to get involved in, these are the type of deals that we go in to do. If we're not doing this, we're doing student accommodations in the Cape. Right. What is the next steps? The next steps for you is, simply put, is that for people that are wanting to partnering up with us, there is a bit of a process for it, because we are going to be on a journey for around about a minimum of 3 years. So if you're partnering up with us, the conditions are, number one, your money needs to be with us, being invested on a property or on some properties somewhere else for at least 3 years. That's the first thing. That's the first requirement that you should know. And out of that, the returns on there that we're talking about, the 17% that we're talking about, then gets paid out on a quarterly basis. Because remember, these are new projects. So new projects, we need to understand what they are. We need to stabilize them. We need to make sure that we are collecting good rent and then all of those things. When we are renovating a property, obviously you might be starting off on one section of the building and then on the other one and things like that. So you don't just walk into a building and you start collecting 100%. There is a bit of process to it. The other one where you are investing in us, it's guaranteed. It's your 14% and that's it. You know, your money doesn't grow. If we get a deal on 17%, it doesn't mean that you're getting 17%. Nope, it's 14% guaranteed on the 10th of each month. However, if you're partnering with me, you've got the opportunity to have the upside. And what is the upside? Obviously on the equity, right? Obviously on the appreciation, obviously on the cash flow that we are getting as well. Now, how do you get started? Number one, there is an application form that you need to fill in. I want to stress out, guys, that for some of you, we might just decline you because this is not for everyone. This is for people who really understand property. So Rita is going to send a link. On that link, there is some few questions that you need to answer. And those questions, they don't have a wrong or right answer. They have the right answers for what we are looking for in terms of partners that we can partner up with. People that understand properties, you know, and thereafter, we will then give you a call to say, you've been approved and we will send you the agreement. From there on, you will then pay your contributions. It will go to our attorneys. And from our side, from an M5 perspective, we will start working. And we are already on investment or property number 2. There's one property that is out in Cape Town that we are wanting to buy. And I'm going to show you a little bit later. However, from an investment perspective, this is how it goes, and you start getting your passive income. Simply put, I want to stress that we want to go to work. So for that reason, I am going to put in a due date. So we are going to put in a due date. And for you guys, it is going to be the 12th of November. You need to either have filled in the application form, and we need to come back to you to say that you are investing with us, yes or no. Why are we putting in a deadline? Because whenever you're buying a property, you need to put in timelines of when you're going to perform. So whenever you put in an offer to purchase, it's not open-ended. So you need to tell us, are you coming on board? If you're coming on board, when is the money going to be released? And we can then work around that. Okay, good stuff. I hope this makes sense. If it's not making sense, you can ask the question there in the chat. But I want to guys show you someone else who's been investing with us. And again, you can see the background is still the same. We are still at the same property, at the same show and tell. And this is a lady that's been investing with us for quite a while, actually. And she used to invest in us. So she used to get like monthly income all the time. And she's now split her income. She's now split her investments. The one she's getting on a monthly one, and the one she is a true partner to us.
And first time around, it's about 3 months. Yep. Okay. And first time around when you invested with us, what gave you the level of faith of investing with us?
I think I had just gotten tired of looking and owning, and because I just didn't have time to find properties myself, when I came across you guys, I thought I'm making more money with you than trying to manage a tenant and getting back a fraction while I was staying with you, sir.
Yeah. And how do you enjoy that money that comes through?
Yes, all the time. Yes. Every morning when I turn, my WhatsApp is there and it's already my bank account, so I think it's also very touching that it's never late. So just the people that are behind me.
Awesome stuff.
Awesome stuff. Now, these deals are always available. They're always available within this time that we're going in, because you might be thinking, TJ, where are we just fundraising? Where are the deals? Boom, there's another deal here. This deal here, it's something that we can literally jump into right now. This is a deal. This is a block of flats that we've got. It is 14 units, and the price on it is agreed and it's secured, and it is sitting on 3.2, and there's a 64,000 Rand rental income gross that's coming out of it. And I did speak to say those that are partnering up, basically we're hitting the targets there, right? Okay. That's not the only one. There's plenty more. And I'm saying that for some of you, it might not be good for you. But for some of you, for many of you, this is something that you want to jump in. This is much bigger than what I am doing. This is much bigger compared to my entire team at M5 Property Addicts. If you want to join us, then this is the time. We have the window here available. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys some of the people that have invested with us. I want to also stress the fact that for those of you that are going to invest with us, I am going to introduce you, or should I say we are going to have a session with someone else who is doing much bigger things than us. He's in his early 20s, and he just signed a deal of a $250 million to do some cool developments. And I want you guys to meet up with him. But I am not going to hang out here with you for a longer time. I have to attend to another meeting, so I have to jump. But I'm going to leave you guys listening to some of the other investors that have invested with us. And out of it, those that are going to come up, those that are going to be investing with us, I will be speaking to you, and welcome aboard. But good night, and thanks for being here. Cheers.
Taurai, you've been in my circle for a while, and you've now invested with us. And what gave you the leap of faith to invest with us?
Basically, I saw the work that you guys do.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I'm here to make money. Yeah.
I think you are a proven and tried and tested method. I watch all your videos, some great type of content, and I really believe in the journey that you're on right now. And I like your challenge for investing.
Cool. Many more. So you've been investing with us for a while.
Yeah.
And the first time around, I think about 3 years now?
Yeah.
Okay. And the first time around when you invested with us, what gave you the leap of faith of investing with us?
I think I had just gotten tired of looking and owning, and because I just didn't have the time to find properties myself, when I came across you guys, I thought I'm making more money with you than trying to manage a tenant and getting like a fraction of what I was getting with you, so it made sense.
And how do you enjoy that money that comes through?
Yes, on the 10th, yes.
Right.
Every morning on the 10th, my WhatsApp is there and it's already in my bank account. So I think it's also very comforting that it's never late. So, you know, you can trust the people that are behind the money.
Awesome stuff. So Dimitri, you've been investing with us now for what, 2 to 3 years?
2 years, 18 months about.
2 years. Yeah. Okay. And the first time when you started investing with us, what gave you the leap of faith in this?
It's just a trust and relationship. You either have it from the, you know, for me personally, it was just that connection from the first time we met. So for me, it was trust and relationship, and just seeing what happens, what you guys are, what your sort of motivated drivers towards, you know, to get property investments and daily. So yeah, that was my take on it. And I always connect with people from, you know, so automatically for me that, you know, just made sense. And in the relationship, I mean, we connected from the first time. So, so for me, I think it's, you know, you've got to connect with someone first and foremost.
Yeah.
Because if the connection's not there, it's no matter what they do.
Sure.
And then that naturally follow, you know, what you guys are doing. So
100%.
Yeah.
And you've been enjoying your process?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, there's no two words about it. Comes when it comes, no matter what happens. There's communication.
Yeah.
During COVID, there was communication, what you guys were going through. So I think that's all you really want. You know, that's all you really want.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Thank you, man. Yeah, thanks for investing with us. And sure. What gave you the leap of faith to investments?
Firstly, your team. When I looked at your team, because I started knowing you guys earlier this year, around I think it was just before lockdown.
Sure.
Now, when I looked at your team, each of the members, like in your team, they are quite credible. Besides you yourself, of course, being the SA investor of the year last year.
Sure.
Because I mean, the SAPIN team, anything that they credit must be trustworthy, because the SAPIN team, they've got a quite credible team.
Awesome.
Yes,
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so Hesho, you've been investing with us.
Yep.
What made you take the leap of faith to invest with us?
So, teacher, I think for me it was the fact that I've been following you for some time. You came through the same education system, proper investment, and I've seen what you've done. And I think for me it was sort of an easy decision, you know, to invest with you and to build a partnership with you and to create a legacy for ourselves and our family and creating a good foundation for people.
Cool.
Yeah.
Give me more.
Like it.
Thank you.